Hello everyone, it is Susan here, and I am going to start on my Just Because book. So, if you didn't see my first video, I'll have the playlist below. And I decided I'm going to use some threads that I never use, so I pulled out these two colors, but I do have all of this already threaded that I would like to use up, so I will probably pull from this first. And let's see, so this is what I'm using for my cover. It's a piece of a napkin, linen napkin, and I know I'm going to put these fabrics on the cover. And I knew that I was actually going to, maybe I'll just open it up. That kind of makes more sense. I will put it on the back. I wanted to cover the whole back with this, but only part of the front. So this is the front of this Just Because book right here. And if you don't know anything about the Just Because book, it is slow stitching, and the concept is from Susan Taylor Brown, and I will have the link to her YouTube channel below. And yep, I always like to make sure as best I can that I make sure that I give credit where the credit is due. Right? It's like sometimes I guess I might forget, but I try not to. So this Just Because book, like I said, is slow stitching, and it is to do anything that you might want to do on, oh, I wonder if I should just, no, I'm going to cut it. You can do whatever you want. Well, you can always do whatever you want, but it's just a way, for me, the way I look at it is I get to do what I want with the supplies that I have. And yeah, so like in my head, like I was thinking, well, what am I going to use on the rest of the journal? And I have this box of fabrics, small fabric pieces, and I thought I would use this plus some of this from this bin, this is my happy box. I mean, this stuff just makes me happy, but it's kind of cumbersome having all of this on my desk, because I have this bin with different things that I'm using on this Just Because book. So I was thinking of like taking a handful from each of those bins, the fabric and the laces and stuff, and just kind of taking one handful of each and just using that, so I don't have too much to look through and to think about. I can just basically grab and go, right? So all I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to go ahead and just kind of do some straight stitching here to get this onto this cover. I'm using yarn. It is Appleton yarn, and I like it, but it's gosh, I don't know how to say it, but it's like what I would call like thin yarn, like not a lot of strands, which is cool because I don't always want a ton of strands, right? You don't always want your yarn to be super thick. And so I like that about it, but what I find is that it tends to knot easily. So I don't know if that's just me, but I've noticed it. So yeah, but it's not going to keep me from using it because I love it. And I have a good amount of it as well. Let me show you. I do have some right next to me. And I got it on Etsy. Don't remember where. But so it comes like this. I have quite a few. It comes like this. So this is what it looks like. It's, well, made in England, 100% wool, Appleton. Yeah, so I have a bunch of them. And so I do use them, and I love the way that they look. It's just that I find that they knot easily. But I will get through that. You know what? Maybe I have my yarn too long. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I feel like it could be something I'm doing wrong. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so let's talk about this Just Because book. So I'm excited to see what I mean. It just, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. If I am doing anything wrong, it actually has a knot in it now. See that? It actually has a knot. Let me see if I can pull it through without breaking it. Yes, I did. Okay. Yeah, so I have like the fabrics for the pages that I plan to use, which I showed in last week's video. And again, the playlist is below. And so I have that stuff ready, but I figure, well, let me start on the cover first and at least get this going. And then I will go from there. So I will be recording, you know, this whole process with all of you. I don't know if you're like me, but when I can just sit and watch somebody sew. It is very calming to me. So yeah, you know, it just is. I don't know why, but it is. So yeah, so I figured, well, let me kind of bring you all along on this journey with me, and let's see where this goes. So I'm excited to, you know, pull out like the different fabrics and the laces from those bins and just put them together in like any way and shape and form that I want to. And you know, I think it's going to feel, I think, very creative for me, but it will also feel, I don't know. I mean, like when I do my wall hangings, I feel like that too. And I've talked about this before. I find the process super creative because you're deciding so much, right? You're deciding everything. You're deciding what colors, you're deciding, you know, between the fabrics and whatever threads or yarns that you're using. Then you're deciding, well, what is the placement of them, right? So, I mean, it's such a true creative experience. I mean, and many other things are as well. I guess for me, it's just kind of, well, it's new to me. So I guess that's why I'm mentioning it, because, you know, I've done it all, right? I've done the mixed media, collaging, and I love it all. Watercolor painting, I've painted, you know, with acrylic paints. It's just, so this is just another great avenue to get your creative juices flowing. I guess that's maybe the way I should say it, because everything that all of us do is very creative, right? So I think I should say it like that it's just another way to get your creative juices flowing. Okay, so that piece is on. I have a little bit more of this. I'm going to use it because, like I said, I want to use up these yarns that I have. thread already on. So let me see. So this piece, I want to put a little piece up here. The top of it is kind of not what I want. Let's see. So maybe I'll just do that. And I'll put this on the bottom here. So let me go ahead and cut this. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to cut. And it's crooked. Sorry. Let me just kind of clean it up. Okay. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. You know what? I need to take a sip of my water. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to get this down. Let's just do it. And that's the other thing that, you know, I'm thinking for the Just Because book is to, you know, just kind of do, right? Like, don't be afraid to start it. Just kind of get some stuff out and start. So like what I was just saying before about the creative part, you know, you're just selecting everything to create something that, you know, to you is pretty, and it's something that you handmade. And, you know, and that's another part of it, right? Is that it's handmade. I mean, who wants it to look perfect? Right? It's handmade. It's not perfect. Yeah. So that's the way I think. So if you're like on the edge of trying to decide if you're going to do a slow stitch piece, just do it. Just do it. I mean, you can use regular thread, you know, like just like basic sewing thread. You can use embroidery thread. You can use any kind of yarn, really. I don't go too thick with my yarn, but that doesn't mean that you can't, right? And find some fabric. I mean, all you need is little pieces. You don't need anything big. And what's really cool is if you shop on Etsy, which is like one of the first places that I go to shop, you know, you can just search in there. Like you can put in like fabric scraps and it'll come up. So you'll find sellers that that sell, you know, bags or whatever of fabric scraps. And that's how I actually got a lot of mine, was that way. And so, you know, what you're buying, the sizes can be very different. Like, so this piece right here, I think this was the actual size when I bought it. This was it. I don't think I've ever used this. So, you know, you're looking at a piece that's, you know, 4x6 or whatever that is, you know, or narrower pieces, or sometimes pieces that might be slightly bigger. So you're buying scraps and they're happy to get rid of it and they're selling it, making some money off of it. And you're getting a nice assortment of fabric pieces. Okay, I finished that. So that is good. Yeah, so I can definitely recommend doing that on Etsy to find some really good pieces of fabric. Just making sure that this is in screen. Okay, so now I want to get this on there, and all I'm going to do with this is put a little piece down here. So I think the first thing I'll do is just tear it right down here. This will go back into my scrap bin. Okay, and then, so that's good that way. And then we'll cut it here and tear. And then this little piece is just going to go right there. Look how perfect that is. Okay, so now I'm just going to select another yarn. Now this is a heavier yarn, and I'm going to go for it because you know what? Like, one of the things that I want in this Just Because book is I want it to look, how do I say this? I want it to look, I almost want to say messy. I want it to just be bunches of all kinds of stuff everywhere. I don't want it to look uniform. Yeah. So adding a totally different yarn that is totally not anything like the first yarn that I used, I think is the way to go. I do. Because it's going to give it interest. It's going to give it visual texture. Oh, yeah. I'll leave that for now. So I'm going to make fairly big stitches as well. And I will be, as I move along with this project, I will be, doing different stitches throughout it because I'm just learning. I'm learning the different stitches, and of course, I need to practice them. So I think that this is going to be the perfect journal to do that in, practice my stitches. So even though today I'm just doing the straight stitch, maybe once I get this down, we'll do something a little bit different. Alrighty. Alright, almost done with this piece. And look at how bunchy I have this. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. I hate bunching. I hate it. I really hate it. I do. That's one thing like I don't like bunchy fabric. Unless it's meant to be that way. Ooh, look at that. I just broke my yarn. Just totally came apart. Can I pull it through? Nope. All right. Look at this. Look at what it did. Huh. All right, well, I don't know if I should cut some of this off or try to use it. I guess I'll try to use it. I don't know if it'll break again though. I mean, I don't want to waste it. Let's give it a try. I mean, it looks like it should work. Like, I don't know why that just happened. So it's hard for me to evaluate because I don't know why it happened. I'm just going to loosen up these stitches. All right. Let's try that again. Perfect. Okay. So that is done. Okay, and we'll knot that up. And that's good. All right, so this morning, as I was walking around my craft room here. So now remember, this is the front. It's going to go like that. So now at least the whole cover has something on it. So I want to work on the cover first. This morning, I was walking around in my craft room and I noticed this little piece of fabric on the floor. So I'm like, okay, well, let's add that today. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let me see, let me see, let me see. What do I want to pull in? I don't know. It doesn't really matter, right? I guess I want to use a piece that is long enough that I can just use. What about this orange over here? Doo, doo, doo. Yeah, that should work. Because I want to, I don't want to, I just want to finish up these needles with this thread and stuff on it. So I'm just going to put this down. I will put a needle in just to basically hold it there because I want it, I feel like, kind of on the edge of the front of this. So what I could do, maybe I'll do some bigger, I don't know, I call them like X's, or I guess some people might call them crosses. I know that there's a name for it. It could be the cross stitch. Yeah, I think this is called the cross stitch. So it's basically X's is all it is. So I'm gonna use this stitch to go around this piece of fabric. So my plan for these Just Because videos is that I will be posting them on Mondays. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. That is my plan. So for 2022, my plan is that, well, I'm actually trying to do maybe 1 or 2 less videos per week this year because I don't know, I'm feeling like my base video schedule, like where I start from, is to do 2 paper based videos and 2 slow stitch videos per week at the minimum. So like on Tuesdays, I know I want to do Tag Tuesday, which is hosted by my crafty friend Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. And I like doing that. So, and although I do use fabric on my tags from time to time, I consider that a paper-based video. And then we meaning Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming and Joanne from Junk Journal Treasures, we are hosting collaborations on Fridays. So that, for the most part, is also paper-based. So when I say paper-based, I mean, you're using the tags, which for the most part are paper. Maybe you're using book pages, scrapbook paper, paper. So that's kind of how I look at that. And then, of course, I'm doing Roxy's project this year. So the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery project and this Just Because project. So that's 2 slow stitch projects. So those are the things I plan to do every single week. Those 4, 2 paper based, 2 slow stitch based. And then I just kind of add to that if I have something to add to it, something to share. And, if I want to say if I have the time, because right now I'm still working full time, and for 4 more months. It was supposed to be the end of January, but I just agreed to work until the end of May. So I am still working full time, and so I'm only recording videos. Like 99% of my videos are recorded on the weekend. So I was just trying to make it to where I had, excuse me, time to maybe do some other things than record and edit videos and post them, and you have to do the thumbnail and just all that stuff, which I totally enjoy. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I love making videos on YouTube. I love teaching. Like, I am not a teacher, but I do really enjoy teaching. Or training, if you want to even look at it like that. So if I have knowledge of something, I so totally want to teach others. I love it. I don't like, I don't know if that, well, okay, sorry. I thought I went too close to the edge on that one stitch. I could have. So, like, I like it when I know what I'm talking about. Now, I don't really know what I'm doing as far as the stitching, but I know I'm doing, what I enjoy and what I like. And so, therefore, I'm doing at least what I know as far as stitching, and I'll learn. I'll continue to learn because I also like that. I do like learning new things all the time, all the time. Even at work, I've been there 18 and a half years, and I'm still learning new things, and I love it. So yeah. So anyways, I am still working, and but I do want to try to maybe cut out, like I said, 1 or 2 videos per week, because I was in 2021, I was posting videos 6 or 7 days a week, and I would like to just get that down to maybe 4 or 5. I would do 6 videos if I had something to really share. So like this week, I'm planning on recording a flip through of my envelope journal. And so like that would be like an extra video, and it's something I want to do, and it's something my subscribers have asked me to do, so I want to do it. So that would be like an extra video. I would consider that to be a paper-based video. Although I do have fabric in that envelope journal, of course, most of it is paper. So I'll do that. And I'll be posting that this week. In fact, when this Just Because video goes out on Monday, I'm thinking at this moment, I haven't recorded it yet, but that my flip through of my envelope journal will have posted yesterday on Sunday. So it is Saturday when I'm doing this right now. Gosh, was that confusing? Oh my gosh. But I guess those are my plans and my thoughts about all this fun, crafty stuff. Oh, and the other thing that I do want to do this year, probably when, after I retire, is I do want to learn how to use StreamYard and do live streaming. So, yeah. I mean, I'm used to going live on Facebook. I used to, stream on Periscope, if anybody remembers that. So I don't have a problem with going live. It's just for some reason, I don't know what it is, but with YouTube, I don't know. I just haven't really gotten into it at this point, but I do want to. So more to come on that, but that will be later in the year for sure. And of course, not of course, because some of you may not know, But I do have my parents, they are 89 years old and they live in assisted living. They're about 8 miles from my house, so not far. But of course, I do a lot for them. Even though they're in assisted living, most of their needs are met for sure. But if they need toothpaste, then I go get it for them, that kind of thing. So there are some, needs of theirs that I need to do for them. And even like some banking stuff, stuff like that, which is fine, which I am honored to do for them. But I'm just saying that, I also have that. I have my 12-year-old granddaughter who is a handful to say the least. And I have a son who is 20. How old is he? He was born in 93. He's 20. He's 28. How'd that happen? He's my baby. How'd that happen? This year he'll be 29. Is that for real? Um, um, and so, but he is in the autistic spectrum. So I have him here with me. He's helpful around the house. Another needle done. I love it. You know, he does mainly stuff outside, like the lawn and the snow and the leaves um, and he'll do the garbage and stuff like that. He'll take that out for me. But yeah, so I have him as well. So it's that constant pull, I don't know if any of you, I'm sure a lot of you, probably most of you have that in your life as well, So yeah, I don't know. Who knows why I'm talking about all this, but I am, Hey, it's all good. It's all good. See, that's what happens when you're relaxing and you're just slow stitching, right? And you're just relaxing. All right, you know what? I see I've gone just over 30 minutes. I sure hope I was in the screen that whole time. But so I'm going to pop off now because I don't want to go much more than 30 minutes. So next time we will most likely start with going through the bins and figuring out, what fabrics, like, do I just go in like a crane and just take 2 handfuls and deal with it? Or am I going to be more specific and go in and pull certain pieces, right? I don't know. We will see. So I will see you next Monday, and thank you so much for being here. And yeah, you are all a blessing to me. And I pray that you have a wonderfully blessed rest of your week. All right, bye-bye, everybody.